TFresh. Waiting on you. Okay, so after we've finished turning on the names and closing the thing with the replay time, we can get into this game. So we can see that's real smooth. Okay, so we have a difference already with our teal Terran Benjamin walling off his ramp, and our red Terran TFresh not walling off his ramp. And in Terran versus Terran, it's your choice to do. It's your choice to do either. Some players actually. Right. It's a player choice. That's all. Okay, so Terran versus Terran on Akalon Waste. This is Akalon Waste? This is Akalon Waste. Oh, wait. So, identical builds pretty much so far, with the exception that Benjamin is blowing off with his buildings, but it looks like a 13 gas from both Terrans and the 12 barracks. And I think, so it could be a Reaper. I mean, Reaper is normal in 2v2, right? Right, absolutely. So we've got a cute wall in from Benjamin, where he started his supply depot just to make sure that TFresh can come in but it's a Marine instead from both players. Right. And this is actually a decent Reaper map. It's not the absolute best, but a map like Whirlwind, there's no entrance into the main except through the natural. But on this map, there's a cliff in the main, and there's a bunch of space to work with by your ramp where Reapers can be effective. And it is a Reaper from Benjamin. Just yep. And we have a factory from TFresh. So yeah, a normal build. And so it's a Reaper expand from Teal, from Benjamin. And you know, that's a pretty normal build. I don't know about the Marine, but I can certainly understand it. Yep, and he saw the factory though. So he knows that TFresh is probably, well, is one base at this point. And we have Marines and Windowmines from TFresh, so what do you think? Maybe a drop? Alright. But you generally start a starport by now, right? So maybe not a drop, maybe just extremely safe play. I heard that was good somewhere. Benjamin, he's got a reactor on his barracks, and he's doing. But he picks it up in the natural, so good play by him. Also, good play by Benjamin. He saw the factory, and whenever you see a factory in a turn on one base and you don't have other information, it's important to get the engineering bay, right? Because you don't know. He saw a factory with no add-on, so he doesn't know where the gas is. It could be a Banshee for all he knows. So I wouldn't be surprised to see turrets from him. Even some players even get the engineering bay anyway, so they can. Some players actually build turrets and don't finish building them. They build them to like 99%, And that way, if a Banshee shows up, they finish building it. If not, they cancel it. It's cool. Right, looks like. And a really nice scan out of Benjamin. He sees all 3 factories, so he's gotta know what's up. All right. So, oh, Benjamin just lifted up his main command center by accident. He must have been. We've all done this before, where. Yeah. All right. So a momentary. Oh. Right, you gotta get them all back on add-ons. Yeah. All right. Yeah, for sure. And likewise, I think. Yep. Right. So another good scan by TFresh too. Both players have pretty much full information. We see that Benjamin's going for Stim, Marines, tanks, and medevac. Yeah. Actually, this is nitpicking. This is nitpicking a little bit, but the bunker in TFresh's base, in his main base, I feel like it should be on the other side because the medevac is not coming in on that side. I don't know. That's what I'm doing. All right, so we got siege tanks out of TFresh, no armory, which is a little strange for mech, but it can just be. There we go. All right, there's the armory, and we have Marines, Marauders, siege tanks, and more barracks coming up for our teal player Benjamin. So I think he's going to try to. Yep. Yep. All right, and there's the double armory out of TFresh. There's a second one added. So I think it's going to be your, I don't know, mech versus bio. it depends on the engagement, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Fighting tanks, even like this without combat shield, that's risky business. And this medevac is fated to die. Oh, he gets saves with 5 HP. Right. So he's keeping that medevac alive is actually really important for this push. Although I don't think this is the kind of push that like a mech player does, not a bio. Like he has 1 tank. this is gonna get shut down so hard. Right, but he had medevac alive. He escapes with most of his units. It's okay. And he's moving into the Thor's on Hellbat, so I think he has a really good opportunity for 2-base timing. Also, I think it's a good time for both players to be taking their bases, right? Because there's just kind of an engagement, you know. Both players gonna have to build up for a while, so yeah. Well, the other guy beat you to it. All right. So let's take a look at where we are SCV-wise. TFresh has been cranking out SCVs like a beast, 51. And Benjamin still hasn't gotten saturation potential. Alright, so TFresh has an advantage of roughly 15 SCVs, which is pretty important in a mirror matchup. It's important in any matchup, but especially mirrors. One thing that TFresh is lacking on is that his upgrades were started pretty late relative to the bio player. But the bio player has no armory, so his upgrades are going to be stuck at 1-1 for a while. Yeah, Drilling Close is a really good upgrade. Yeah, and this is a scary push. If you're a bio player, you don't want to see this, man. It's like a lot of times players will mix in Vikings with it too to kill medevacs. But even without them, it's So let's see. What does TFresh know? Is he going to scan up the ramp, maybe? Or just poke over the Hellbats? Yeah, so TFresh is in a position where he can contain, but I don't think he can push up. Right. And that's it's an important decision to make as a meching player, because mech is kind of like Protoss, where if you lose, you're never actually supposed to lose your army, and you're supposed to be building up to this one Doom army, and it's okay to be out on the map and whatever, as long as you don't lose your units. And with mech, it's that same way, because bio is a lot easier to replace than mech, so mech doesn't want to trade until you trade in like overwhelming numbers in your favor. Good idea. This guy's not having any of it. He's like, screw you guys, we're attacking. Okay, there. Yeah. Right. So, perhaps. So 2-2 started for both players at almost the exact same time. Actually, TFresh has a planetary at his third base, which is uber safe. Although I don't even... Right. I don't even think that's necessary on this map. On this map especially, you can just kill those rocks and be completely safe. Right. TFresh was actually blocking Benjamin's third base with the Widow Mine, which forced a scan out, which is good play. We got, so when you're a Zerg player, you leave maybe a Zergling outside of your opponent's base, so you see when they move out. TFresh, yeah, TFresh is choosing the slightly more expensive option of scouting his enemy's front, but right. I mean, hey, if he tries to move out with a couple Marines, like, he's gonna think twice. Alright, so TFresh's mech army is starting to hit. Right. And if he had more, there's that Thor. Right. So having all those Vikings would be really nice if there were tank wars going on, but I think to his name, Benjamin has one tank. Right. So these Vikings are going to pick off nothing, because TFresh has Thors, which are going to just... Right. So some serious mind games going on here. And both players are just about maxed out, and this is where, as a bio player, you start feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I'd like to see TFresh actually sack some SCVs, because he's up to like 80 and making more. So as a mech player, I mean, you don't need... You just take your fourth base and just kind of drop the macro a little. TFresh has been good with his upgrades too. He just started his 3-3 on mech, and 3-3 mech is... he's a little bit low on the tanks. Yep. And a battlecruiser, a lone battlecruiser in production for Benjamin. Yep. Right. But TFresh is so heavy on Thor's that I don't know if it... Yeah, he scans everywhere trying to find some angle to attack, and he decides that third is the best place to do it. Right. 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 TFresh is in a defensive position without it's an odd composition without the siege tanks, but that would have been so sick if he had been there. Oh my god. Alright, so this is actually a pretty bad fight for TFresh, I would say. This Hellbats can't fight. But again, it's like... But it's 2-2 Thors against Bio. I mean, Thors are Thors, man. Right. So TFresh is in a defensive position without the siege tanks, but that would have been so sick if he had been there. Oh my god. Alright, so this is actually a pretty bad fight for TFresh, I would say. This Hellbats can't fight. But again, it's like... But it's 2-2 Thors against Bio. I mean, Thors are Thors, man. Right, so this is the point in the game where both players should start, I would say, drop some macro orbitals and sack SCVs, because both players are up to almost 4,000 minerals. It's like, ain't nobody got time for that. But get more army supply. And TFresh is feeling confident after that last engagement, sieging up in the middle of the map with his Thor tank callback composition, and it is a sad day to be a bio player. Right. And Benjamin got the memo. He's made a macro orbital and 2 more expansions, but I don't know. Right, and both players go on BCs. So, right. So yeah, and TFresh has no map vision, unfortunately. So he actually doesn't even know about the third, fourth, or fifth base that Benjamin has just kind of taken when he's like, yeah. So Benjamin kind of lost his army and then just decided to mass expand, hoping that he could get back in the game, and TFresh is letting him a little bit. It's interesting. It's interesting how Benjamin has so much money, but he's not making anything out of his barracks. There's this giant army coming to him. He's like, no, I'm just gonna make battle cruisers, which might work. I don't know. We'll have to see how the fight goes. But he's down like 40 supply. Yeah. And it's a rough day to be a bio player. Yeah. This is a really good angle for Benjamin, but I don't know how much it matters. I mean, the battle cruisers are going to stay alive, but I mean, TFresh's battle cruisers and Thor's too. And oh man, those Vikings just got focused down. That was good. Right. Well, I mean, look at the supplies. The supplies kind of tell the story. Right. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, both players are on pretty high SCV counts. Yeah, TFresh should probably transfer. Okay, so now we're in an interesting situation. TFresh hasn't remade his tanks. He's opting for like a Thor battlecruiser composition against a battlecruiser Marine Marauder. So it's really going to depend on the engagement. Right, yeah, for sure. Right. It is important though when your opponent has bio to not skip out on the tanks, I think. Uh-oh. Some foreshadowing. So TFresh has actually fallen behind his supply for the first time in a little while, trying to rebuild his super expensive Thor battlecruiser army, and he just doesn't have enough gas. Meanwhile, Benjamin has snuck a bunch of bases. Great, but he's a bio player. A bio battlecruiser, I guess. Right. That's crazy. So again, both players are maxed out, and we're kind of waiting on an engagement. I don't. TFresh's army looks actually small for being maxed. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like equal battlecruiser counts, roughly, right? Yeah, it's Teal's ahead in battlecruisers, and it's 8 Thors to fight off 23 Marauders. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like... I'm starting to like this fight, not so much for TFresh. Without any siege tanks, I don't see how you take out that much bio. Yeah, a siege tank or a widow mine or something. It's just here. Right? The one thing, yeah, and this isn't gonna go well for TFresh. I mean, he doesn't have splash damage other than a little bit from the Thors, but it's not enough. And a really nice split from our teal player Benjamin, and I think that's got to be game, right? TFresh he can't rebuild his army. Yeah, so I think looking back on this game, TFresh had himself in a really good spot, but I think on the remax, he made a compositional error. I think. Yeah. I think it's just clean up at this point. Yeah, and it's not often that you'd say that a player is in a pretty hopeless spot when he has 5,000 minerals in the bank, but it's the gas. It's a gas bottleneck. You don't need a... Yeah, but it's too little too late. Yeah, we got Benjamin with the added barracks too. Yeah. Great, but his bio has upgrades. Right. So TFresh is actually building a better composition now with Hellbats and Widow Mines, but it's 136 supply against max. I mean, Benjamin is just going to stim up the ramp when he feels it's ready, and that's so. Peachy. Dude, do you see this? Look at all those barracks. Yeah. Yeah. TFresh with the command center, barracks, missile turret, last stand over here. Wait. Money isn't everything. Yeah. I don't know. I disagree, but